Hi there, Stampers. This is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, and I'm here with today's live. I'm not technically live because I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, doing the Stampin' Up! Leadership Convention called Backstage. But just because I'm out doing other business doesn't mean that you shouldn't still be able to get your free online class that I promise to deliver every Monday and Thursday here on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be playing around with these dies. These are called the Patchwork Pieces dies from Stampin' Up! And they're in our annual catalog. But they're not, they're a little bit intuitive, but not totally. But I'm going to show you some fun things we can do with them. Let's get started. Okay, so here are two full sets that I did using these dies. Now, what I did is I ran the die through the machine with 6 different colors of paper, and then I mixed and matched to come up with these various rainbow designs. This one using the swirl die, and then this one using the starburst die. Now, you'll notice I didn't use the whole die. When I went through and I cut it out, I only used half of it. And with this one, I have a little bit of spacing in between with a backer board. And then these ones, they're butted up tight to each other. So you can use them either way. I use them on Monday with some designer series paper, doing them on a note card size card. Because the dies are small enough, they can be used with both. Today I'm doing full size cards. These ones are in, this piece is Bubble Bath, a Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Lemon Lolly, Soft Sea Foam, and Pool Party. And I just kind of did the same design and just arrange them in a pattern. Okay, when you have these dies, we would put them, they fit in the mini machine. That's a total bonus that they fit in both machines. But I would take this die and a piece of cardstock or designer series paper. And then you would have plate 1, plate 2, and you would put down your cardstock. These are about 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. So, you know. Alrighty, so they're die cut. And you'll notice when they first pop out, they're all kind of connected in the center. You see how there's that little circle in the middle? And that's kind of useful on this one because you have to kind of break it apart. So you're able to keep them all kind of together till you're ready to use them. So since I was working with these pastel colors and I did my first set of cards, now I have the other half for my second set of cards. So let's just pull these in here. There we go. Okay, so I have them in kind of the order I want them in. And I'm just going to start with this one. And then I'm going to go with, ooh, they have to be the same way. There we go. We're going to go with that one. And then the second one. And then the third one. And then the fourth. 5th, and then 6th. And we can kind of do the same thing. We're going to just work our way down the line, and that this would be our first one, and then our second one, and then our third one, and the fourth one, 5th, and then we're back over here to the 6th. So you get the idea. We would do that with all of them until we had them all paired up and ready to go. Now, I'm not going to do them all because that would be boring to you, but I am going to give you an idea of how they kind of go together. So we have our rainbow pattern, right? We have 2 of them that we're ready to work with. And then I have some regular pieces of Whisper white paper, or basic white, sorry. These are 1 3/4 by 5. Are we ever going to get used to that? They changed the name how long ago? And I'm still calling it by the wrong name. Anyway, you could choose to die cut all of these using adhesive sheets. That might make it super simple. I'm going to be doing them with liquid glue. And again, you don't want to use too much. You want enough to be wiggle room, but not so much it's going to saturate it. And then I'm going to lay it on there with just kind of a little bit of a border. Now, I cut mine to fit for what I knew they would fit. I'm starting with a right corner, and then I'm going to build my way around. Now, I might do those 2 and then these 2, and then fit my middle ones in to here. Now, it does not have to be perfect in the middle. That's kind of part of why I'm using this circle that's going to cover that up, so that we have a little bit of forgiveness there if we're not exact on our little spacing here. And it looks a little funny in the corner right here. That will be covered up with our sentiment. Now, because we know this is 5, we know that 2.5 either way would find our middle. That might be a way for you to keep an eye on where these pieces go, either just by setting it on the grid paper or maybe even making a little pencil mark you can erase later. And that's just if you don't trust your own visual spacing. And there we go. See, so that came out pretty good. I mean, I don't think it looks terrible there in the middle. Okay, then we would just follow our way down the line, doing all of them the same way. See, I don't know what to do with myself when we can't chit chat because this is pre-recorded. I feel kind of silly. I don't have you to talk to. I miss you. I don't have all my normal chatter. Ooh, that's not the right piece. I want that one. All right, now, and of course you can use any sentiment you want, any stamp set, whatever. I decided to use these circle sayings because I just thought a circle would go cute in the middle of it because it's kind of a sunburst pattern. And then I have a series of the same colors for my card bases. So I might come in with, say, this one and this one. And then I would need some basic white cardstock. I have this cut into 2 3/4 inch because I wanted a little bit of wiggle room. Suppose I even could have gone tighter, but we will be stamping and punching for that. So let's see. I did the other ones with a warm hello. Let's do cupcakes for this one. I like the little celebrate circle with the cupcake in the middle. I think that's cute. And then we could put happy birthday on the inside. Let's see. There we go. And of course we can use any of our colors here. And the other ones I used Gorgeous Grape. I think I'm going to use Highland Heather. And then, of course, we would have our whole series of them. It would even be cute to stamp this in the various colors so they match the card base. That would be cute, huh? And then you can choose to either color them in with the Stampin' blends or not, or whatever you color with. I'm going to go ahead and give these a little bit of a wipe so they don't stain. This is the Simply Chamois. I just cut mine in 4ths just because they're easier for me to work with. And then I have the 2 3/8 inch circle punch, which is what goes with this bundle. And they're designed to specifically cut out these circle shapes. And of course, I'll eventually have 6. So, oops. Go ahead and cut out the 4 that I stamped. And then I just need 2. I'm going to go ahead and put these down flush with some Stampin' Seal. And I'm just kind of eyeballing for an even border on the 3 sides. You can do whatever visually appeals to you. There's no right or wrong answer. But you would do this with all 6. Just mixing and matching as you go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these on with some dimensionals just to give it a little bit of depth. There we go. You know, these might even look cute if you had another layer back there that was maybe dry embossed, or maybe dry emboss the front of your card, or maybe give it a little bit of a, I don't know, something. It looks like it needs texture, right? What have we got up here? Oh, I know. I love this little swirl. What if we gave it a swirl of some color? How cute is that, huh? And we can go ahead and place that in the middle. I mean, so maybe that floats your boat, maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's something else you would want to put back there, or maybe you would even want to stamp it before putting that top layer on. This is, of course, an afterthought as I'm kind of creating on the fly. Normally, I'm more thought out than this, you know that. But I just thought it needed a little something. And I love this little something. And then, of course, it's got the fat end to fill in fat spots like I had in the middle here. Or if you wanted to, you could use this skinny end to add some more in skinny spots. It's up to you. And then, of course, you would figure out something to put on the inside. And since I did swirls on the outside, I think I might be tempted to add a layer with happy birthday in the middle and then some swirls. But you get the idea. That would be our whole set of 6. Now, I'm going to stop here because I'm going to show you the other die. We still have yet to work with this swirl die. So we have this one. And like I said, I pieced it together. And we will need to die cut again. So let's bring in our mini with our other die. And I'm just going to use 2 colors on this one. So this one is Berry Burst, and I'm going to pair that with Bubble Bath. Okay, that one didn't go flying. Okay, so these don't have anything that holds them together, so you have to be a little more careful about how they fall out or know how to put them back together. Now, I find with the mini, it loads a little better for me if I have my die further back. When I have my die all the way up here at the front, it makes it a little thicker at that front part, making it a little harder for the rollers to grab it since it is a tight fit. So when I load back further, it more easily grabs it and pulls it through. I have heard the deal about the, stacking the plates and all of that good stuff. And that works too. Oh, something's warped. Okay, I have a warped plate. There we go. That feels a whole lot better. Maybe that warped plate was why it was shooting across the room. And the plates don't warp as much if you remember to flip them. Every time you use them, you want to flip them so that they get even wear front and back. That would help a lot. Sometimes that happens in classes and sometimes it doesn't. Or even sometimes when I'm using it and sometimes when I don't, because they're not marked. I don't know if I was on side A or side B. But, I'm just trying to give you the tips. Okay, so again, I'm trying to put them in the order of where they go. And then I'm just going to flip-flop them. So I'm going to take this one and switch. and this one and switch, and this one and switch. So we would have two cards that are kind of the same. And then I have a piece of cardstock that is 3 inches by 4.5. Now, like I said, technically it's 3 1/8 by 4 5/8 if you were measuring exact. It also would mean you would have to be exact when you're laying your card together, which makes it, I don't know, a little harder. Now, when Sarah did this, our CEO, Sarah Douglas of Stampin' Up, she did it, and she started with this right corner down here. Because it has that little 1/8 of an inch difference, I didn't want to put that 1/8 of an inch difference on this tiniest piece we have to work with. So I'm actually going to start with this right corner and start up here. So again, I'm putting it on that corner and then making sure that it's covering all the white. And then I'm going to set this one in here. And like I said, the first card, I gave a gap between them. This time I'm butting them up exact. And by my using this right corner, see, I have more on there. You'll notice at the bottom, we're going to have a little bit of an overhang, which is fine. It's not going to make any difference. I just found that when the overhang happened, when I didn't have that much room to work with, it just made it more difficult for me. Do whatever works best for you. I'm not going to say that the CEO of our company is wrong. She's not. It's just, be creative. Do what you like and do what works for you. When I did do it the other way and it didn't quite match, I put a piece of tear and tape on the back, and I just made sure that the tear and tape touched that top piece, and then use that as part of what I use to adhere it to the front of my card. So here's our last piece. Like I said, this is the corner she started out with. But see how there's, that much left over? If that was part of this, I don't know, it just seemed silly. But because these pieces are so big, I'm not worried that that little amount is hanging over. You can try to make it, cut it to fit. You can cut it at those exact dimensions, or you could lay everything on just a piece of basic white and come in after the fact and trim it off. There's nothing wrong with doing that either. If you're more comfortable that way, go for it. Okay, now I brought in a Berry Burst card base. And then I cut a layer that was out of the bubble bath, because I couldn't decide if I wanted to set that on a bubble bath or on a white or both. Maybe I should have switched them and made this one white and that one bubble bath. What do you think? See, I could come in and adhere that down and then just trim off and lay that on there. I think I'll do that. So I'm just setting it on this layer Now I could measure it and I could, it would probably be easier if I measured it and then came back and centered it. But I'm going to just do this. I'm going to set it in my trimmer. And I'm kind of watching this plastic guide a little bit and watching where the color hits on it. I guess it's right even with that. But I think that came pretty close. And like I said, that's what you could do if you wanted to mount your pieces all on a piece of white. Then you just come in and just cut flush. And just cut straight up to the edge. That's totally possible. Probably even would have looked good doing it with this border if I had just glued the pieces onto that and not had the mat underneath. There's so many options with card making. It's just fun because nothing's a wrong answer. They all work. Whether I wanted to double mat or single mat or even have, if I had a wider border over here, I could trim that off. There's no wrong answer. And then again, because these are just shapes, it can go that way. It can go this way. We could turn our card and have it landscaped. I kind of like that water flow. Could you see this in blues? It would be kind of a waterfallish look. You go this way and it looks like it's, sound amplifying out. It's fun. Just so many fun things you can do with this. And we're using all the pieces on this one. We only used half the pieces on the other. Maybe somebody's going to find some way to use just one or two pieces. Maybe we could come in and we could do one flat, one on dimensionals, one flat, one on dimensionals, one flat, and do an alternate so it would give it some dimension. I've seen it done with 3 colors, 4 colors, 6 colors. I used a circle on the other one. I've used ovals. This time I'm going to use the banner punch. So I just came in with a piece that is, this is 3/4 inch and this is 1 inch. And then I'm just going to flag the ends. Now I'm using the front as guides, but I also tend to flip it over and look from the back because I don't trust myself. And I find if I look from the back, I'm more confident that I'm in the right spot. Okay. And then, let's see. Just grabbed Your Friendship Royalty. Just grabbed it out of that birthday set over there. Since I had it out, that's going to fit just right. We're using Bubble Bath, so let's come in with that. Might have been better in Berry Burst. But we could have that come in from the side. We could have even flagged both ends. Anyway, you're going to figure out where it goes. My main point was I wanted to show you how these dies work. And so hopefully now you are more comfortable with how they work and how to put them together and have some ideas for what you can do with them. Could have even left it blank. I kind of like it blank. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I apologize that I'm not technically live, but I'm glad that you came to craft with me today, or even watched me on replay as we played around with the Patchwork Pieces dies from Stampin' Up. Thanks for joining me.